So that's what we do. So people, of course, thought this was a crazy idea. They would say, well, how do you think you can help ex-offenders by being beekeepers, right? And that disappointed me because I am sort of a crazy enough visionary that I could see the connection, but I realized that lots of people couldn't, and they thought it was just about beekeeping, when in reality it was all about what? Work experience and jobs, and that honey was just a means by which to get these folks working. So there was lots of negativity, but guess who's laughing now, right?
Yes.
So why honeybees? First of all, I told you there were lots of other ideas that just failed. You know, I thought about a landscape business because I thought anybody can use a lawnmower and cut and rake, but there wasn't a competitive advantage. So please, if you're taking note, understand that if you're going to enter the game around business, you have to be able to understand what is it about my business that is unique? What will be my competitive advantage? So if I'm going to get into the landscaping business, there are hundreds and hundreds upon thousands, right, of landscaping businesses. What is it about mine that would be unique? And I just couldn't come up with it. You can sit on the table for me, Maya. You can take them out and set them up. And I couldn't think of anything. I came up with another idea of a delivery service because I thought there are so many elderly adults in North Lawndale that can't get out to the grocery store, they can't get to the drugstore, and maybe I could create jobs for people that, you know, through getting them licenses and getting a CDL license, whatever, and then they can go and pick up, you know, prescriptions for Mrs. Jones. Not exactly a great idea, because you're working with a vulnerable population with another one that could be predatory. Are you kidding? You know, so I couldn't even imagine what kind of insurance, you know, I couldn't get any, I'm sure. So not a good idea. So that's why honey kind of made sense. But when I started to learn about beekeeping, I found out that it was a profession that's passed on by word of mouth. And I thought that could work, because it doesn't matter what your academic attainment is, but that we love to learn through storytelling, and that anybody could learn that. So something happened inside of me. When it's right, you kind of get that moment, that chill, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is probably going to work. This inclusive skills opportunity, regardless of academic, yes, that's what I was saying. Natural, raw, local honey has a great flavor, and there wasn't a large apiary business producing local Chicago honey. Prior to Chicago-based honey, local was defined as Wisconsin honey, right? So there was an opportunity for me to create a competitive advantage, because we're not just honey, we're actually urban honey. All right, y'all are with me. So, right, that's part of the competitive what? Everybody say competitive advantage. Please keep that in mind when you're thinking of your business. What is my unique edge? Also, here's the thing. You guys saw this already. Honey takes the sting out of reentry. Well, it is. It is tough to come back and to reintegrate back into your community, but we're able to do it through honey. Also, bees don't distinguish between what they see as a flower or a weed. And why is that important? Because they're just basically out there collecting the good out of a flower. They don't decide that it's a weed or a flower, but they literally are taking the good that that plant has to offer and turning it into something sweet and good called honey. And I think that that's such a powerful analogy for the men and women that we work with. You know, we all have something good in us. It's just how do we choose to see it, right? I have fallen in love with the honeybee. So, what is the social impact or benefits? And so, in addition to any business, well, how do you measure the success of a business? By its income, or even further, by its profits. By its profits. So that's what you care for. You know, stockholders are all about what?
Profits.
But in a social enterprise business, not only do you have to be concerned with profit, but you have to be real clear that the work is actually achieving the social purpose for which you've launched it. And so in our case, we started the business actually at farmers markets, selling honey at farmers markets. And we were like, if you build it, will they come? You know, will people buy honey from the what side of town?
West side.
Will they? Right? Will people be okay with a product that has been produced by who? Ex-offenders. Ex-cons, former offenders, a whole bunch of names, right? Will they? And I didn't know. So we tested it. And what I learned through that is that it's all about the product. If the product is premium, people really won't care who made it because they value the quality more than anything. And that was hard for me at first because all my life I have worked in the nonprofit sector. So what drove me wasn't about the honey. What drove me was the people behind the honey. And so I was like, oh, and it's made by former offenders. And then you see people's faces kind of, and then they taste the honey and they go, oh, well, the honey is really great. And so I started to realize that, does it matter if people know who's behind the honey? Not really. Because if you're buying the honey, you're helping regardless. Doesn't matter. But if you do want to know, I'm so proud to tell the story. All right? So there's a purpose to the product if people want to know it. But if your product isn't premium and you start promoting the purpose, you'll have a false sense of security and success because people will buy your product the first time because they like you, or they'll buy it because they want to support your cause, but they'll buy it how many times? Once. They'll buy it once, and you will not have a loyal following. And I also had to learn this the hard way. Slippage again. So what happened is, I'm sorry, I'm just telling you guys these little tidbit stories because it's fun to bring you along. Okay. So people, if they like you and they want to see your business be successful, they will tell you, good, that's good, girl. Oh yeah, I like your lotion. Well, I come to find out that what we were selling at the farmers markets, people liked it because they were clean. What I mean by that is they weren't laden with chemicals and preservatives. So people tended to go, ooh, I like it because it was clean. But the reality was our products had some issues. And I really wasn't that open to hearing about those issues because I was so happy that people were buying, right? So with the wisdom of my board of directors and others, we decided to have focus groups. And in those focus groups, the truth came out that one of the lotions didn't have very good viscosity. In other words, it was too runny, a little thin. And people like a rich, rich in viscosity. It became one of my favorite words, type of lotion, right? The other thing is that our products all had different scents. There wasn't a uniform smell. So when you wear Estee Lauder or Chanel or somebody, there's you know what you're gonna get. We didn't have that. And so one person even told us that our body polisher, which is one of my favorite products, smelled like lemon pledge. It was true. Okay. It was true, and it hurt my feelings. I was like, man, But you can choose to let somebody hurt your feelings and stay in a low place.
Yes.
Or you can use it to drive you to go another level. So what did I do? I don't know anything about this stuff, right? I didn't know anything about beads, I didn't know about lotion, I didn't know anything. But I found myself at this place called, Bell Flavors and Fragrances. I met with these chemists and these scent designers and said, I need a scent for honey. And I need this to be clean and light and natural. And so they came up with 13 different scents for honey for me. And I'm sitting there smelling and, got my little tea with me. And so we came up with a Sweet Beginnings signature scent.
All right.
Right? So that's what you'll see now in our products.